I think inside Iran it will probably escalate. I've been there 3 times, and the last time was a year and a half ago for the Four Corners program. The key thing to understand about what's happening in Iran at the moment is about 70% of the population was not born when the Islamic Revolution came to power in 1979. It's a very young population. Many of them that I've spoken to do not share the values or the commitment to an Islamic government. Many young people said to me, we want a government that if it's good, we re-elect it. If it's bad, we throw it out of office. We're Muslim because our parents were Muslim. So within Iran, this has been bubbling away now for many years. We saw in 2022, of course, it flared then with the case of the 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, the young woman who was taken by the morality police, so-called, because her hijab was not being worn appropriately. Now, in Iran, if a young woman wants to show she's against the regime, she pushes her hijab back to show a lot of hair. Now, the morality police, the regime, don't like this at all, and they try to get the women to pull their scarves down. In fact, this is a revolution. This is an uprising being led largely by young people, largely by women in their 20s. It's quite remarkable when you see the anger and the determination. So that's the Iranian side. Now, from the US side, President Trump is at the height of his powers at the moment. He is in total and absolute command of this country. He has used the military twice in the last 6 months, and it's gone down very well with his MAGA base. The bombing of the nuclear facilities in Iran and the capture of the Venezuelan president. He is using the military clinically, surgically, no boots on the ground for President Trump, no quagmire as were previous presidents. He's going in clinically. My own sense is that in the next week or 2 or 3, we'll see a surgical strike. I think the Americans will be very careful not to kill civilians because, of course, President Trump's saying he's trying to help the civilians of Iran, so they can't really hit a civilian target. I think they will hit certain military installations so that the Iranians get the message that the Americans are serious. When you're here in Washington at the moment, it's hard to overstate the confidence, the chutzpah of the Trump administration. They are absolutely riding high when it comes to their power. And suddenly Donald Trump's understood and worked out how he can use the most powerful military in history in this surgical way. They're on a high, they're pumped up, the Trump White House, over that Venezuela operation, which was a remarkable military operation to go in there and essentially to seize a foreign leader in a hostile country. Now, I think that they're making a lot of threats at the moment towards Greenland, towards Colombia, towards Cuba. President Trump has decided in the last few hours that he will cut off all oil and money into Cuba because of the US embargo on Cuba, which has been in place since President John F. Kennedy in 1962. Cuba has been using Venezuela as a pipeline, and now the Americans are cutting that off. Now, President Trump saying if they don't cut a deal, then there will be consequences. We don't know what the deal would be, and we don't know what the consequences would be. I think that his priority will be Iran much more urgently rather than Cuba.